So I can't believe it. Stadia just announced one of my most favorite games of all time coming. Holy crap. Nothing but hype from me as we just got announcements of 3 excellent titles coming to Stadia soon. I can't wait to talk about these for several reasons. We got something also from the Stadia social media team I want to share at the end of this video, and I think it's pretty significant. So guys, in a surprising move today, Stadia announces 3 new games coming. These are some of the best announced games so far for 2022. I'm not saying they're the very best, but they are very quality titles, starting with what I think is the biggest thing here, the one that got me most hyped, maybe not for the reason you think, in City Skylines. This is a massively popular city builder from Paradox Entertainment. That's significant, and I'm going to explain why in a second, but City Builders is a game that to this day is played a ton, comes in with over 140,000 very positive user reviews, and as you play the mayor of a city, you're tasked with building up your own town, balancing things like education, water, electricity, police, firefighting, healthcare, and a lot more. Now, I've never played this game myself, but I know it's massively popular to this day. In the YouTube space, people are watching creators make massive cities. It's got about 20 to 30,000 daily users. This is a heavy hitter of a title coming to Stadia, to say the least. I'll definitely finally give this one a shot. I used to play these types of games as a kid, but now on Stadia, I definitely have my excuse to finally jump in. For me, though, the thing that got me really excited about this particular announcement is actually the publisher of this game, Paradox. They had a game rated on Stadia a long time ago, I think back in 2020, in Surviving the Aftermath, which has never come, and I'm fine with that. Maybe it still comes. But I wanted to see Paradox because they are the makers of some of my favorite strategy games and some of the favorite strategy games, period, in the entire gaming community. One of them here in Crusader Kings 3. This is a game I have already spent hundreds plus hours on. Stellaris. This is another game that I've spent 100 plus hours on. Stellaris is amazing. Pillars of Eternity, you guys might be familiar with that one. Then we have Europa Universalis, I think I said that wrong, Prison Architect, and then there's a lot more games from this, from Paradox, guys. So this is a big fish of a publisher to be making games on Stadia, and being able to go on the go with these types of titles will definitely appeal to a segment of gamers out there. So really huge here. I will definitely be supporting this game here, City Skylines, with my wallet, because I want to see more Paradox games, and this one will be coming out in spring 2022. But alright, the game that got announced that I told you guys at the start of this video that I teased is one of my favorite of all times. It's funny because we've actually been getting a ton of party games left and right, but really guys, none of them compare to the king party game that is Overcooked All You Can Eat. Essentially, this is the ultimate party title where you take on one of 4 random cooks. You can either go solo or play with buddies, and you try and do your best in the allotted time you're given, but usually things end up pretty freaking chaotic. The levels themselves can transform into like magical moving obstacles. Like everything in this game is trying to prevent you from completing your cooking objectives. And this is a game that I've actually introduced to my entire family the past 5 years, and this game has brought them into gaming itself because of this title. Literally, it's that good. It's fun for everyone. One thing that stands out is the control scheme is super simple, so anyone can pick this up. I even had my mother, who's 55 plus years old, playing this and enjoying this game, and she doesn't like gaming. We are going to be getting the full version with looks like all the DLC. The game also has online play as well, and if you want to go solo or not go against your friends or family, the campaign mode is honestly some of the most memorable times I've had in gaming personally. I mean, it was a ton of fun. The levels, again, like I said, just get so crazy. I cannot rave enough about this title. It's a must buy in my opinion. If you ever have any like party things or a family, wife, husband, kids, anything that you can play alongside with, this game is just insanely fun, and it's one of the, if not the very best party game ever made. This one is actually set to come soon in April. All right, lastly guys, we have Golf with Your Friends. The makers of Overcooked have made this one. I admit I'm not as familiar with this title on a personal level, but this is another game that has blown up quite a bit as well. You can play with up to 12 players doing some awesome mini golf online. The game features 3 different modes in mini golf: shoot for the pars and hoops, or swap the hole for a goal in hockey. There's also a full in-depth level editor, so you guys can make your own own course. And like I mentioned, this is a wildly popular game as well. It comes in with over 30,000 very positive user reviews. It's just a plain well-loved title. Now, I'd love for Stadia if they could somehow convince these guys here, Team 17, the powers that be, and even though I know these games are a little older, get some crowd play and crowd choice in here. I'd love to see those on these games and feature it. One last thing, though, to note is that Team 17, the makers of Golf with Your Friends and Overcooked, have also a very good library of games they could potentially bring over. But two of these titles are actually some of their most popular in their catalog. So kudos for them for bringing in the good stuff right away and not starting with their backlog of maybe not so popular games. I'm looking at you, Wired Productions, but love it either way. And these are three excellent, very popular titles headed to Stadia, and they're all headed very soon. Last thing I want to cover is someone asked Stadia, if I buy a game and Google pulls the plug, what happens to the game I bought? And he mentions that he wants to support the platform, to which Stadia responded, Stadia isn't going anywhere. We'll keep bringing great titles to the platform and Stadia Pro. I love how they specifically point out Stadia Pro. That's a great thing in my opinion. And then they mention yet again, guys, how the Google for Games Developer Summit on March 15th, as in you need to watch for that. So they are pointing to this date yet again for us to really pay attention in regards to Stadia's future. I mean, at this point, we are getting something that talks about the direction of Stadia, because they just keep talking about this and promoting it. I'm a bit surprised because, again, I mostly think we're getting nothing but technical presentations. At this point, I can think of like potential hardware upgrades that would definitely make some buzz, maybe an announcement of an expansion, but I'm not really sure what we're going to see. Again, I personally refuse to get too hyped for this, even though Stadia really wants me to. And also to the gentleman who asked about Google not supporting Stadia, homie, just watch my channel. There is a lot of things happening underneath the hood. Stadia is actually wildly popular in the cloud gaming space. This is an emerging tech that will grow in the years and decades to come. So yeah, this isn't going anywhere. Google would be insane to go anywhere with this. I mean, it's what happens when the mainstream media, the mainstream gaming media, tends to just paint this a certain picture, and it's really frustrating. Anyways, guys, click that video on the top left if you want to see what games are coming to Stadia this year. And as always, I'll see you in the clouds.